Okay, so now it is May 6, 2022 at 5:30 in the morning. I'm going through like 15 pairs of glasses trying to find something that I can use to do these taxes with. Okay. So that I can pay rent and my bills. Right? Because I'm on a fixed income. Now, I'm going to be calling this video, what am I going to call it? If I lose my grandson because of Punjabis. Straight up, people. Straight up. Because of the housing market and the corruption within the housing market and how the Punjabis as a collective group are capitalizing off the demise of the Canadian-born people. Namely, white people, black people, native people. Those are the main three target groups that the provincial government basically, well, for white people anyway, expects us not to participate in racist activities, even though we're the ones being targeted in terms of the below that certain income level. Okay? The ones with money, the white people with money, not so much. Unless, of course, they're the elderly sitting up in their homes and, you know, the property developers and whoever want those houses so that they can gut them and rent them for, you know, exorbitant amount of price or tear them down and build things that average Canadians can't afford to move into. So, now, because of what's going on, I may lose my grandson because of this, people. Seriously. And honestly, I don't think on average the Punjabis are going to care because that's just not their nature. It's just not, people. Their idea of, I don't want to say being sickly, but being disabled, like Amari is, you know, it's a drain on resources. You have to remember, they abort their girl children in order to have boys. It's pretty common among their group, right? You know, they sacrifice their women, their girls. They sacrifice, not all of them, but in India and, you know, whatever they came with from India, they brought it over here too, people. Okay, you know, they're girls, you know, they're like a dowry, you know, they marry for money, you know, they have arranged marriages, and if they can get an abortion and abort a girl so they can have a boy, so that they can keep on with the family name and, you know, add on to more wealth, and, you know, I mean, other ethnic groups do it too. It's not just the Punjabis, but that's what I'm living around, people. And, you know, they don't value life in the true sense of life versus how much wealth you can accumulate while you're alive and then pass it on to the next generation within your so-called family. And if one is a burden, like a disabled child, right, then, you know, they don't necessarily get the attention that they need in order to have a fulfillful life. And if you're outside of their ethnic group, then that child just becomes an eater and a commodity to harvest at some point in the future so that they can live, right? Before they'd cut into one of their own to take out a body part to put into another one, they take that body part from somebody that's not related to them in any capacity outside of they're a human. Okay? I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. That's just what everything points to. Okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, what's going on is genocide. It's a form of genocide. And I know it's easy for a Punjabi to say, well, it's the government's fault. They're the ones that started the process. They're benefiting from the corruption, and they're egging it on, and they're fueling it, and they're funding it, and it's all the politicians' fault. Or it's the tenants' fault because they can't afford to keep up with the corruption and pay that blood money, pay that extortion money in order to be able to maintain any kind of living in Canada, okay? Because the corruption is so wide and deep. So anyway, so if I lose my grandson to foster care, it will only be because I won't be able to afford rent, people. I won't be able to get the proper kind of housing. Because the shakers and wheelers and dealers in the community have made it that way, because they're harvesting not only the ones that are falling off the grid through death by any means necessary. Those bodies go straight to the hospitals and are immediately harvested, and the majority of the body parts are sold on the black market, which stimulates the economy so that these individuals can go out and buy more property and do whatever it is that they do best, to go on to the next house and implode that one and flush everyone out and capitalize off of those ones that end up dying from that process. And it's just on and on and on and on. And because they think they're superior, because they drive around in Hummers and this, and they own that and own, that somehow makes it okay because they think they're superior. Okay. So, with all those cards stacked against me, I went to the store the other day, walked down. Okay, we already know what's happening at the corner duplex over here. Okay, and we know what's going on with this house, and right, we know that I'm just like this, right? Going to be kicked out at any minute. It could be tomorrow, it could be in a year from now, it could be sooner or later. It's going to happen, people. Sooner or later. If it happens in 2 years, that $4,000 rent for the same kind of house will be $6,000. Okay, as the immigrants continue to come to this country and get propped up by federal and provincial and municipal subsidies. Okay? So, if I lose my grandson because I can't find a house, it's not my fault, people. I'm not the one that's capitalizing off of dead body parts as I implode houses so that I can make myself appear like I'm a professional businessman with scruples. Okay? That's not my style. All right? I'm not anywhere near that freaking agenda. But that's what I'm up against. Okay? And this is why I'm doing this video, because if it ever should come to that, where I lose my grandson because of lack of affordable housing that can accommodate my family, well, it's really important that I document and remind people what happened to ShaMay and how I even got into this position with Amari in the first place. Because if ShaMay was alive, I don't know, maybe there'd be a little more escape, because, she could help pay that blood money, that extortion money, with higher rent. And we could continue looking after Amari. Because we love Amari. We don't see him as a waste of space. We don't see him as a commodity to exploit and to capitalize off of and to harvest. We love Amari for Amari. And it's not Amari's fault that he was injured at the time of his birth for nefarious reasons, because it's not just in the housing market, people. It's being pushed through our healthcare system, with the elderly being medically kidnapped and forced to sell their houses, as well as children being injured at the time of the birth so they can immediately hook them into the children's hospital and book them in for future surgeries. Whether it's hip surgery that can lead to death, or whether it's just death, and then they just take out the organs and put them somewhere else because somebody put in a fucking order. Okay? And to ensure for that to happen, this is how these houses get imploded. Okay? With the respectable businessmen in the community, okay, that run in a pack of fucking 4. Okay? I'm sorry, a pack of 10. They run in a pack of 10. 10 of them at a time. Pack to pack to pack to pack. I walk out, go down there, turn the corner, walk a little more, and what do I see? Another pack of 10 Punjabis, pit bulls, okay? I don't know. I don't know where they came from. All I know is they're all over the place. And it's not the same fucking pack. Okay? And what were they doing? They were gutting another 2 houses, people. Over there. On the other, you go down to the end of the block, you turn left, you're still on the same fucking block. There's a whole nother fucking pack with all their Hummers and all this other shit out there with their, crystal shining vehicles, gutting 2 more houses, people. To jack up those rents. As they're plotting and scheming how to tear down the whole fucking neighborhood. And then basically don't care where we go. The tenants, that is. Okay? And it's like that from block to block to block to block to block. Because our federal government is bringing in 1.3 million immigrants that they're going to prop up first as they sacrifice the Canadian-born people. That's why they brought fentanyl into the community, is to help speed up that process, people, and then harvest the organs while they do it, so that they have the extra cash to do what they want when they want and not be held to account. So in the meantime, there is there's a risk factor in there for me because my family's been decimated. Okay, literally, it's been decimated and it's been robbed. Okay, and I'm in a really, really dangerous situation. I'm around a lot of dangerous people, individuals. Fuck calling them people. I'm around a lot of dangerous individuals, and I'm in a very dangerous situation by no fault of my own. I'm told to go off and buy appliances because my landlord doesn't want to buy them. So I buy them, and now that I have them, I'm expected to get fucking rid of them. And if I don't, I'm being told they're going to be thrown into a fucking bin. If that isn't fucking warfare, psychological warfare, I don't know what is. They're not providing any options. They're just saying, get the fuck out. And if you don't, we're going to come in and we're going to make it happen. And we don't care because we're superior, because we're the ones with all the fucking cash. Yeah, but you're also the ones running around with dead body parts inside of you that you stole. Okay, there you go. You got it from the fucking horse's mouth because my daughter, I'm sure, isn't one of your kind. Because that's what you facilitate in order to have that superiority over everybody else, okay? Because without the money, you'd be nothing. You'd be a nobody. You need those dead organs to sell on the black market just so that you have money to go buy another fucking house and start the process all over again. So now I'm facing losing my grandson because of your guys' shenanigans. Point blank, period. As we've got Julian's sister in the background thinking, and this is the point of this video, okay, because I want it fucking documented, thinking that as soon as I fall off the grid, I die because she hates me, right? Okay, for whatever fucking reason, as if I ever fucking did anything to that little bitch. But besides that point, she kept her ass in Alberta, or wherever she came from. Same thing with her brother, and maybe my daughter would be alive today. But that's not the game, right? The game is to kill and to capitalize. So anyway, this is the point. If this girl seems to think that when I die, Tisha's going to pick up the phone and call her and ask for help. Well, she's got another fucking thing coming. Tisha ain't picking up no fucking phone to call no scuzzy little fucking cunt, okay? Point blank, period. All right? Especially one that's a creeper and likes to plant things in other people's bedrooms, hoping that the, girlfriend will come in and find it so that she can sabotage relationships and all this other shit. Okay? I mean, there's a history there, okay, people? All right? Well, she just did a video recently which coincides with that. Remember when she did the video? Oh, I was in Freddie's room and I left the tampons, my hand cream, and the bobby pins in his, where ShaMay could find them. I left them in his bedroom where ShaMay could find them so that when ShaMay came and found them, she'd get mad knowing that Freddie had another girl in his bedroom. So she was creeping around, sneaking, and planting things. This is why I say she's the one who laced ShaMay's cigarettes, okay? There's no other person. I don't think it was Julian's mother who did it. Both Julian and his sister were living at their mother's house at that time, because I kicked out freaking Julian from here and he went straight to his mother's house. But he had to hide out for a while because his mother's house got robbed. So in the meantime, ShaMay, right, 2 weeks before she was murdered, took the baby to go see the mother because the mother was stalking Tisha at the prenatal clinic, the same prenatal clinic that ShaMay was going to, but for whatever reason, her medical files state that she had no prenatal care, which is a bunch of fucking crock, because she was going to the prenatal clinic where Julian's mother worked, where Tisha went because of ShaMay. When Tisha got pregnant, ShaMay said, go here, because that's where I go. But for whatever reason, in ShaMay's medical files, it's listed that she got no prenatal care because they wanted to make her look like she was a street junkie. Okay? Because they knew that at some point she was going to be targeted for illegal organ harvesting to prop up the fucking shenanigans that are going on in this province with the housing market. Because it's being fueled through laundering money. And that's why these fucking packs of freaking pit bulls drive up in their fucking Hummers. One after another. Block to block to block. Anyway, I call it like I see it, people. I call it like I live it, people. There's a reason why I haven't had any help for 21 years with the foundation, because of the Punjabi community. They're taking over the whole province. Maybe that guy over there didn't care about food because he's got the connections to the farms to which many Punjabis own. So why should he care if it's already in the bank? In terms of, well, I don't care if you can't eat. It doesn't really matter to me because my plate is full, because all I have to go is go talk to so-and-so at that farm, so-and-so at that farm, and get everything that I fucking need. But before they'd help me, they would help them. Because they're too busy trying to destroy my life. So why the fuck would they give me food? They wouldn't. You gotta look at the bigger fucking picture. Okay? And then they hide under the federal government and say, well, it's all the federal government's fault, and the politicians' fault, because we're just doing what we're told. They need housing, so we're filling that gap. We're just building the housing that the government expects us to build. Yeah, but at what expense? Right? The human expense. The trees that you're cutting down and destroying. All the animals. What's going to happen to Matilda? What's going to happen to the hummingbirds? What's going to happen to all of that? It doesn't matter, because just put in an ornamental tree and make it look good for a moment and just move on to the next fucking, just, what is that? Demolition site. The next house. So in the meantime, because there's people, being murdered out here with fentanyl, people like Julian and his sister, they know it. ShaMay wasn't the first person that was dead around Julian. He had a few other ones first that just mysteriously died. But of course, it was an accident or it was a suicide. It was never murdered because that's not the agenda to solve crime, right? No, 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 no. So, anyway, right? That mother wanted to see ShaMay crying on, tell Tisha goes, or see the baby, telling ShaMay, oh, you know, tell ShaMay to bring the baby. ShaMay was bugging Julian for 2 weeks to go, you know, because she's getting, you know, right? And he's saying, no, 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 no. He doesn't want to sign his name on the federal forms to put Chorney on the birth certificate, right? You know, finally ShaMay just went to the mother's house by herself because that mother wanted to see Amari. Tamika was living there. Julian was living there, okay? She's the one that's trying to twist things around. Okay, with her fucking, oh, woe is me, and you don't know what I'm talking about. Well, you don't know what I'm talking about because clearly you're involved. Right? Julian wasn't there because, again, if he was there, there would have been pictures of Julian holding the baby. It was just the mother. Well, Tamika was running around sneaking and implanting things. Planting things like she did at at Freddie's house. Planting the tampons. Planting the bobby pins. Planting the hand cream just so that she could sabotage Freddie and ShaMay's relationship, knowing that ShaMay was going to come to Freddie's house and find them. Okay? And then she planted the fentanyl in ShaMay's smokes, because it was medical fentanyl that basically killed her, on top of whatever Julian injected into her after the fact to hide the fact that she had been poisoned with medical fentanyl. He tried to make it look like it was an overdose, but it wasn't. Okay, because I was here. She was sick for a couple of days before it all came to a fucking head. We thought it was just a flu or maybe a stomach flu. We didn't realize that she was actually being poisoned with medical fentanyl. And because ShaMay had never taken fentanyl in her life, she wouldn't have known what it felt like outside of in a hospital setting when under a C-section. To which they did that, and then they tried to accuse her of being a drug addict because she tested positive after giving birth with fentanyl. Oh, but then they changed it on their file and said, no, it wasn't because of her doing the drugs, it was because of the C-section. But all they had to do was put the suspicion in there so that they could follow through with their targeting of my daughter through the healthcare system. Because it's not just in the hospitals, people. It's in the fucking clinics. It's in the prenatal clinics. Okay? They're targeting them through the clinics. Through the prenatal clinics. And then in the hospitals. And then sooner or later they end up dead because the cops don't do their job to nip murder in the community because the money is too big with the organs. It's a syndicate, okay? This is a criminal organization that is killing people, and they're using tax dollars, public resources like hospitals, clinics, those kind of places, and public union employees to do it, in partnership with the private sector, where they run in a pack of fucking 10 with their fucking Hummers. So I know she laced ShaMay Smokes, people. I know it. I'll never get justice for it. But she slips up because she mad at her ex-boyfriend. She did a video. I wasn't going to say anything about it. But if I lose Amari because of what the Punjabis are doing, I want it documented that Amari should never be around this individual ever. Ever. Because she's completely unstable. When they were picking up Amari, bringing him back, I told you, He'd cry, 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 cry. I couldn't get him to fucking stop crying. Why you have him for 3 hours, whatever it is, you bring him back, and now he just won't stop crying. What were you guys doing? He developed a freaking, well, I'm not asking her because I don't give a shit, because I already know. Okay, what the fuck were they giving him a bath for, people? Like, why? What? Because no, because you're sick in the fucking head. That's why. Why were you smothering him with a whole bunch of perfumes and all this shit that he come back and couldn't fucking breathe? Why would he come back and just wouldn't wake up, and all he'd want to do is sleep, 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 sleep? And I'm like, holy shit, I'm getting fucking scared. Why is he sleeping? Because you were probably, that person was probably dosing him with Tylenol and all that shit just to fucking fuck me over, okay? Why was he coming back with a belly so bloated that I thought he was gonna explode? Huh? Tell me. Why? Because I didn't do those things. They did. Okay? So it was enough I had to deal with that shit when that shit was going on. Then I find out that she's planting bobby pins, hand cream, and tampons in ShaMay's boyfriend's bedroom so that ShaMay could find them, so that she could sabotage the relationship with Freddie and ShaMay so that she could stick her Poonie up in Freddie's face and snag him when he was vulnerable, and then rub it in ShaMay's face for years. That's basically what happened, right? Now she's going on about, and this is important, now she's going on about this boyfriend that she had, right? Blah, 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 blah. And she drops the Q. Now, this is in 2022, people. Julian died in 2019, I think. January of 2019. So a couple of years have gone by. 2 years at least have gone by. Okay? And because she's spiteful and likes to hurt people and likes to sneak around and implant things, she drops the beans how her and Kayla, some girl that was gonna, or apparently married Julian after ShaMay was dead within 6 months, right? I don't know if they got married or not, but, you know, everyone was crying on how they all wanted to die and go be with Julian, including that girl. Well, anyway, Julian's sister, Tamika, and Kayla were sitting up in Uncle June's, Tamika's ex-boyfriend's bedroom, but at that time, I guess she was dating him, taking dog ashes and putting them in little charms and then giving it to people saying Julian's ashes are in there, when in fact, those girls never did put Julian's ashes in there. They put dog ashes in there. So what I'm saying is, whoever got those little charms thinking they got Julian's ashes in it were deceived for over 2 years. Because Tamika's sister, Julian's sister, Tamika, and this Kayla girl were sitting up in this guy's room, right? We'll just call him Nicholas, because that's his name. We're sitting up in Nicholas' room, conspiring and being sneaky, putting in dog ashes, and then she's giving the dog ashes in a little charm to her boyfriend, Nicholas, saying they're Julian's ashes. Just like she took the tampons, the bobby pins, and the hand cream and placed them in Freddie's room so that ShaMay would find them. So that's 2 times she's admitted sneaking around, doing things behind people's back, and then fucking staying quiet on it. Okay? And nobody can tell me that bitch didn't lace ShaMay's smokes. But you see, the Punjabis in the community, they don't care if that happens, because that's one less black, one less white, one less mixed, one less of a person, more money to capitalize on with that money train when it comes to illegal organ harvesting, because the system is already in place through the targeting of these, through the clinics, the prenatal clinics, the hospitals, and just the whole 9 yards. ShaMay wasn't allowed to become a nurse because only the Punjabis have that privilege, right? Like my landlady said, they become doctors, lawyers, and teachers. They had to secure the doctor position, the nurse position for theirs within the school system before they would allow ShaMay to be nurtured to be a nurse. So they did everything in their power while she was in school to distract her away from focusing on what she wanted to focus on so that she could become a nurse, because they wanted the Punjabis to be the nurse. So then they got the courses that they needed in order to fill that slot, so that when they come to us, they say, well, we're the nurse, we're the doctor, we're the lawyer, we're this, we're that, we're the ones that drive the Hummer, but you are below us, you are inferior, you will never meet up to our expectations, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, climbing that fucking mountain, right? You can never get to the top of the mountain. But you have to ask yourself, why is the mountain even there in the first place, people? Right? So if I lose my grandson because of what the Punjabis are doing, and how the people that are running the organs in this community, in this country, in this province, and how they're targeting certain ethnic groups, and how they're using mind control, because like that energy weapon that went over fucking Julian's shoulder when he was raging on ShaMay, accusing her of drugging his food, clearly there was something going on there. And if you got fucking energy weapon going right over his shoulder because the camera can pick up and see it, then how do we know that's not how they're importing mind control into these individuals so they actually do go out and commit murder? Because once the body is dead and it gets into the system, it goes through that pipeline, right? It's like gas. You got to keep filling the fucking pipeline in order to keep the gas flowing. Well, the bodies that are going through the healthcare system being harvested is like gas. They got to keep it fucking flowing. They're just not going to shut off the pipeline. And that's why they're gutting house after house after house, imploding house after house after house, destroying lives after lives after lives after lives. So this is not frivolous. This is serious. Because if I lose my grandson because of what the Punjabis are doing, to the point where I can't find another house because of their shenanigans, and even though they want to blame the fucking politicians and all this shit, no, they're the ones capitalizing off of it. They're the ones that own half this fucking province. They're the ones who don't have to worry about food because they've got the fucking lockdown on the farms, and they're obviously not going to be sharing it too much because, there's a whole lot of them out here, and they're going to eat first before anybody else, okay? And clearly they can afford it if they're running around in fucking Hummers and all this other shit, ripping one house up after another house after another house after another house, block after block after block. So yeah, if I lose my grandson, it needs to be documented that this girl has a history of fucking doing shit behind people's back and then sitting back and watching to wait to see what happens. And then when she gets pissed off, that's when she'll spill the beans and say, guess what? You've been running around with Julian's ashes, thinking is Julian's ashes on your neck for 2 years. But I'm here to tell you 2 years later, after I tricked you to think something, that it's not real. You are actually running around with dog ashes around your neck. Now give me back my shoes that I bought you. Okay? If I lose my grandson will never be safe with an individual like that or in that household. Okay? And the mother is not off the fucking hook because she instigated it, people. She fucking instigated it. Just like when she came with Julian to see the baby. No, it had nothing to do with seeing the baby. It had to come to the house, sneak into the ShaMay's room, put back the phone that Julian had for 24 hours after he fucking killed her, take the TV out, put the TV in the car, and then run off with the mom. Okay? That's why the mother came here. It had nothing to do with seeing Amari. Okay? Nothing. They were hoping to get Amari. But the bigger issue was to put back ShaMay's phone first. Because Julian killed ShaMay. And he didn't do it by himself. Okay? There's only one place her cigarettes could have been laced, and that was at their mother's house. Julian and Tamika's mother's house. Julian was not there. Tamika was. In the background. Just like she was sneaking around in the background with Kayla in Nicholas's bedroom, putting in dog ashes in a little charm, and then coming out of the bedroom and saying, hey, here's Julian's ashes. Put it around your neck. And then didn't tell him about it for 2 fucking years. Just like she planted the tampons, the bobby cream, the bobby pins, the hand cream in Freddie's bedroom, knowing that ShaMay would come by and find them, and they would fight, and then that's when that thing would come sticking her ass up in Freddie's nose so that she could rub it in ShaMay's face once Freddie fell for the bait. And then she proceeded to kill ShaMay after she found out that ShaMay and Freddie had sex. And her brother fucking did it too, because they both thought that they would get extra income with Amari, as this thing accuses me of doing it for income. Yeah, okay. I'm only on the cusp of losing everything. Everything, people. And if my government hands over Amari to those people, knowing what we know, then clearly my government is involved. But it's like in terms of murder, illegal organ harvesting. But we already know what it is because they cover it up. And that's the point. As the Punjabis come in and capitalize off of it. That's the point. And they speed up the process by destroying house after house after house. And sooner or later, families like mine will no longer exist. And whatever they fucking propped up with all these immigrants, they're just going to repeat the process with the more vulnerable families and keep that pipeline flowing through the clinics, the prenatal clinics, the hospitals, any fucking clinic, eye clinic, wherever they work, because they work all over the place, people. Okay? Now, obviously, some of this is being fueled by fear. That's the game, though, right? It's like Uncle John said, they keep you in the house inside fighting. That's why they don't like to fix things, right? That's why they're always threatening you with this and threatening you with that and doing this and doing that, because then it keeps everybody fighting, right? And then people make mistakes and they get further behind. And then they start dying. And they get richer. Well, people like this continue to do what they do. Okay? If you're gonna go as far as putting fucking dog ashes in a charm, giving it to your fucking boyfriend and whoever, and say, oh yeah, it's my brother's ashes, and stay quiet for 2 fucking years. And she didn't do it by herself. She also did it with somebody else, Kayla. Just like she didn't fucking murder ShaMay on her own. She did it with her brother, people. Okay? I know I'm kind of bouncing with it, but connect the fucking dots here. There's a pattern, people. Amari was coming home sleeping. I couldn't fucking wake him up. What the fuck was wrong with him? I don't know. The only thing that I can think of is that this bitch was fucking dousing him with freaking Tylenol. Just to fuck me over, or make me scared. Whatever. Why were they overfeeding him to the point where his stomach was gonna explode? Why would he come home crying? He wouldn't stop fucking crying, people. How did he develop a freaking bath phobia, people? Why were they giving him a bath when they only had him for 3 fucking hours, people? Why was he coming home and he couldn't fucking breathe? Because they were plastering him with fucking smelly freaking perfumes and aerosols and all this shit where he couldn't fucking breathe. Why? Because they were sabotaging, that's why. Just like the fucking Punjabis are out here sabotaging families. Same kind of mindset. So yeah, people like them can go around, like Shamika and Julian, they can go around killing people. That's what the Punjabis and the fucking cops want. Okay? Because that keeps that pipeline going. Right? To make more money. To be more superior than everybody else. Right? Okay? Seriously. That's what it's about. That's what it's fucking about. Okay? Let's just listen. She did this. New story time update about me and June topic. Uncle June, she calls him. This was April 26th of 2022. Right? We'll just get to the gist of what I'm talking about here, people.
He's welcome. All I asked for was a motherfucking apology. Period. And my shit back. His bitch ass couldn't give me my shit back. What D-boy and or drug dealer, if you have money, wouldn't you be like, hey, let me just pay you for your shit, the shit that you paid, that you bought me, if you don't want to give it back? No, didn't. His mom gave me half of his stuff back. I didn't get the Air Force Ones that I bought him. I didn't get fucking my brother's Air Force Ones or the necklace from him or Andrew. But since we're discussing the necklace,
here we go.
I'm glad that you guys all turned out this way. I wanted to let you guys know. The only person who has my dead brother's ashes in their necklace is Kayla Balaz. She has a dead dog named Levy and my brother mixed. Right? You guys didn't see me fucking... Y'all didn't see me put that shit in there, you...
You all didn't see me put that shit in there, you dumb.
I almost threw up putting it in my own fucking necklace. Are you stupid? So with that being said, Andrew Harrison, Top Shotta, you're sitting there carrying around that necklace thinking that my dead brother's ashes are in it. Julian's ashes. Bobby. I do this for my nigga Bobby 10 toes down. It's a dead dog named Levy.
Okay, you heard it for yourself. Right? She gave it to 2 different people, from what I can gather here, telling them that Julian's ashes are in it, sitting quiet on it for 2 fucking years, and now she's spilling the beans because she's being spiteful with her ex-boyfriend. She's being spiteful, people. Just like she was being spiteful with ShaMay. Even before ShaMay broke up with fucking Freddie. Okay? And she was spiteful the whole time that, I guess ShaMay was with Julian. Alright? After the baby was born, ShaMay had no interaction with this girl. Why do you think it took Tisha to come back from the prenatal clinic, right? Telling ShaMay that the mother wants to see the baby, because ShaMay wasn't talking to these people, wasn't talking to Julian's mother, and wasn't talking to Tamika for 7 months right after the baby was born, because this girl wanted to medically kidnap Amari when her brother was beaten on ShaMay for the day after ShaMay went to Julian's mother's house because of the girl switching over the rooms and blah, 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 blah.
My uncle was a dog breeder. The dog that the family, the kids loved the most, they cremated that dog. And you have it in your necklace. Nick.
And you have it in your necklace. So she's also informing somebody else that's been running around for 2 years with a necklace around his neck, thinking that they were carrying Julian's ashes, to only now find out they are dog ashes. And now she's going to tell her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, that he's got dog ashes around his neck. Because her and Kayla were in her ex-boyfriend's bedroom at the time, putting in those dog ashes. Then came out of the bedroom and said, here's Julian's ashes. You can't tell me this girl didn't lace ShaMay cigarettes at their mother's house. And then Julian just finished the job. Right?
You as well. You guys, the only person who literally was Kayla. We sat there and did it in fucking Nick's room, right?
We sat there and did it in Nick's room. By ourselves with nobody watching.
So, I'm really glad that you guys turned out the way that you guys are.
And then she justifies it. Right?
Because I second guess. That's just in my nature. I'm a Scorpio, right? I second guess everybody's loyalty.
And what do Scorpios like to do? They like to kill things.
Until they prove me wrong, right? Unfortunately, you guys proved me right. And I'm happy for that. But I also wanted to let you guys know that, Nick, you think that you're gonna get Amari.
Yeah, like, where does this come from? Like, this Nick dude, I have one little teeny weeny video of him being in ShaMay's room, drinking booze with Julian. And when this all went to court, Julian said, I don't do drugs, I don't drink. That's when I finally got into ShaMay's stuff and discovered that Julian was always drinking. That dude just happened to be there. I don't know who the fuck he is. But what? He's sitting up in jail and... Right? ShaMay's been dead since 2018. I don't know this guy from fucking Adam. And he's, what, plotting and scheming how to get Amari? Like, how does that make any fucking sense, people? I don't even know this individual. Like, seriously, I don't.
Or whatever the fuck. That's fine. You can think that. But, if you need somebody to help you, like...
Oh, so if you need somebody to help you to go get Amari away from that evil white woman, right? After all these years, ShaMay's been dead since 2018.
You know what I'm saying? Like, be the face of this shit.
I will put myself out in front as the aunt, the blood, to help you, right? Somebody that I tricked with dog ashes to get Amari. Like, are we listening to this?
Will definitely be the face. But the one thing that me and my mother discussed is ShaMay and Julian made that child. ShaMay and Julian messed up that child.
No. Amari was injured at the time of his birth, people, through medical negligence, right? And because we don't have a proper justice system and a lot of shady fucking lawyers out here, nobody wants to represent that case, right? Because they're going up against the corruption, never mind the injury, right? They go for the easy lawsuits, not the hard ones, especially when you're dealing with organized crime that purposely injure children so that they can be assigned to the children's hospital with their $1 million operating team to harvest organs as children die. And with the severity of Amari's injury, he could have died, okay? But he didn't. But he's not out of the woods. So they're just waiting, people. They're just fucking waiting. They already invested $1 million into an operating team to take out organs from, like, Amari and then put it into the Punjabi child who needs it. Or the Muslim child who needs it, who can afford to pay for it. Or the Chinese child who can afford to pay for it. Okay? Because it's that pipeline, people.
ShaMay and Julian chose lifestyles.
No, ShaMay was going to college in 12 days. She was going to go to the States and be with her dad for a little while. He was going to buy her a $6,000 car. Okay? She was getting on with her life. She had sex with Freddie because she was getting on with her life. And you and Julian got spiteful, vindictive, jealous, and you murdered her. And you did it together, just like you did it with Kayla, with your ex-boyfriend, putting in dog ashes, telling him it was Julian's ashes in that necklace. Okay? Because you have a pattern of sneaking around and implanting things, whether they're bobby pins, hand cream, tampons, fentanyl, medical fentanyl in cigarettes, or whether it's dog ashes when you're telling people it's human ashes when in fact it is not. And if you can do it with somebody else, like you did it with your brother when you killed fucking ShaMay, then yeah, you're gonna do it with Kayla because that's your MO.
That took their life. You know what I'm saying? So
No, you and Julian took ShaMay's life. Okay? Just like the Punjabis are ruining my life with their gluttony from house to house to house to house to house to house as they facilitate illegal organ harvesting to prop up their lifestyles. And being that Amari is injured and they really don't value life in general, he's just a commodity for them, people. Just a matter of fucking time before he's up on the harvesting block. Okay? And if a government wants to think that after they've destroyed my life in partnership with a fucking corrupt fucking ethnic group that has no love for anything, no love for trees, no love for animals, no love for humans, no love for anything other than for the love of fucking money and a fucking Hummer and a fucking monster home, okay? Destroy my family and then think they're just going to hand over Amari to you. Hell no. This is a documentation of you. You like to implant things with or without other people helping you to do it because you plot and scheme on how you can hurt people. Just so that you think you might get something in return.
But that being said, the fact that me and my mom were sitting there fighting and doing this whole back and forth with Judy, I know that none of
You weren't fighting.
your guys' mothers could do what my mom did.
Why would their mothers get involved in the first place? Don't know them from fucking Adam. Okay? And your mother wasn't fighting. She was just stalling for time. She helped her son to get to court. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But when the rubber met the road, she bailed ship because she got bought off with blood money. Okay? In terms of that ICBC insurance claim a year and a bit after ShaMay was dead. Because it goes to that prenatal fucking clinic where your mother worked. Okay? ShaMay was targeted at that clinic, just like she was targeted at the medical clinic, just like she was targeted through the school system to be a tourist guide instead of a nurse, because only the Punjabis can be the nurses and the doctors, right? Not the brown, not the black people, not the white people. No, not unless they can pay and put themselves in a private fucking school, and then maybe they might squeak by. But if they're in a public fucking school, no, they're targeted. Because the public school system is going to make sure that the Punjabis continue to flourish, being that it's the Punjabis who own 3/4 of fucking British Columbia, Canada. And that's why they're not worried about the food. Because they own the fucking farms. And before they'll help with the public, they'll feed themselves first. Because they're too busy pushing the public out into the fucking streets. That's the reality of it.
And I know that none of you guys could fight in court back and forth with this crazy old white lady to get this kid. It is exhausting mentally and physically. And costs a lot of money. Mind you. Julian was paying his lawyer out the ass.
My lawyer told me that he thought that the lawyer Julian had was done through legal aid. And then eventually Julian just dropped his lawyer because they thought they could show up to court without a lawyer and get their own fucking way, but it didn't work out that way. Okay?
But I was still fucking paying for the cabs to court, his clothes to court, Amari's diapers, Amari's food, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know what kind of food they were feeding Amari that was so expensive when they only had him for 3 hours, and half that time they had him in a fucking bathtub stressing him out when they weren't fucking pumping him up with freaking Tylenol. Oh yes, I know. They gave him a whole bunch of liquid in a bottle so that he came home and his stomach was so extended that he was like, literally, you could hear it rattling around, shaking in his body as it was like tighter than a freaking, I don't know what. I'm telling you, it was like ready to explode, people. Okay, and he'd either be sleeping, or he'd be crying, or he'd be stuffy because they kept plastering him with all this perfume shit. Okay?
Will do that.
But you see, the ones that harvest organs and stuff like that, they wouldn't care about that because it would just speed up the process for Amari to die. And then once Amari dies, his body will be shipped immediately to the children's hospital. And being that he's already in that fucking pipeline and they've already set up $1 million operating team to take out organs from children like Amari to put them into fucking other people's children's who need it. Because, you know, they need the supply. So they created the supply when they birthed Amari, knowing that they were injuring him at that time. Okay? Because that's what BC is about.
Because that's my motherfucking blood. But I'm going to let you guys know a little something right now. I am going to let go and let God.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that because Tisha was just out the other day, about a week ago or so, out in the clubs, and she had still, after all this time, people, she's got people going up to her and saying, you know this girl, Tamika, Julian's sister, she's fucking crazy. She coming up on me saying, look at the video, look at this girl, Judy, watch the video. This girl will randomly go up to fucking people and say, here, look at this video, look at this crazy old white lady, look. And these people say, we don't want to look, we don't care. She's a nice woman, we'll leave us the fuck alone. Okay, this is what some girl went up on Tisha, like not even a week and a half ago, when Tisha went to the fucking club. So obviously this girl is fucking lying. She's fucking lying, people. Okay? She's plotting and scheming behind everybody's back, just like with the tampons, the bobby pins, the hand cream, just like she did with the fucking dog ashes, telling everybody it's freaking Julian's ashes, just like she did when she laced ShaMay's fucking cigarettes, when she ran off with ShaMay's smoke saying, oh, can I have a smoke? And then pick up the pack and run off and pretend like she was going to go smoke a smoke somewhere, but in the meantime, she was lacing those smokes. Because she knew her and her brother were going to get Amari, thinking that get rid of ShaMay and we'll get Amari. Because as soon as ShaMay was in the hospital, this thing was texting Tisha, blowing up her fucking phone, saying, my brother has a right to come get his son. I want to see Amari, blah, 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 blah. And when they did finally show up with the mother, Julian and the mother, the only agenda was to put the phone back into the fucking bedroom, take the TV, and run away. They didn't stick around to see Amari. They could have waited. Tisha was bringing Amari down. When Tisha got into the garage, they were fucking long gone. Okay? Because that, you know, right? What was more important was to put the phone back. And Julian broke the phone. The cops said they couldn't get into it because the port was broken. That was a brand new phone. Because ShaMay's dad bought it for her because this one here stole her phone 6 months prior. When ShaMay had to leave this person's mother's house with her and Julian standing inside of it. Because Julian was beating her up not even a week after she had a fucking C-section. So this one could run out the fucking door and kidnap Amari. Okay? So when she says she's putting it all, she's not, that's bullshit. Tisha was approached a week and a half ago when she was out in the club with some girl saying, this one right here is fucking crazy. She keeps telling me to watch. She comes with her phone and she's putting on video saying, look, watch this girl, watch this crazy old white woman, evil white woman. And the girl is saying, no, leave me alone. I don't want to watch. She's not a bad person. Just leave her alone. What the fuck is wrong with you? So this is all bullshit. Complete fucking bullshit.
Moved on. So, what did I say? I'm gonna get Amari's name tatted on my neck and be done with it. The name is right there. No matter what, for the rest of my life, he's gonna always be with me. So I'm already done with that. Y'all can have him. Y'all wanted him so bad. So bad. Judy, y'all wanted...
It wasn't about wanting him so bad. I want my daughter, people. Okay, I want my life back, people. I want my fucking country back, people. I want to be able to go out and be able to rent a fucking house that's affordable, people, like the good old days, instead of waiting for the next attack and watching the next body being harvested. Okay? All right?
Him so bad, but then you're sitting here crying wolf like they don't do nothing, they don't do this, they don't do that.
You don't. Your mother accused me of not wanting her to see Amari because she got caught fucking picking up Amari, not doing anything with him, you not doing anything with him, and the cousin doing everything, and Julian wasn't even there. Plus, she knew she was coming into big fucking money, and she didn't want to have to fork over anything for Amari because ultimately your mother is involved, just like you're involved with the murder of ShaMay.
You pushed me and my family away. To the point where we don't want nothing to do with it no more.
You murdered my family. You murdered my daughter, just like you took dog ashes and put them in a charm and then gave it to your lover and told him it was your brother. Okay? You like to sneak around and do things in the dark when nobody's looking. And then watch and wait and see what happens. Just like Julian when he murdered ShaMay. Walked down to Tisha's room, said ShaMay's not responding. Tisha jumps up, runs down the hall. Julian walks down the hall, just standing around looking. Just looking. He didn't start acting out until it was time to take the body out in the fucking hammock because he had been through the process before and they needed to remove me so that I wouldn't see what the fuck they were doing as they were covering up her body in a fucking hammock with their perfusion machine, preserving her organs in her body, getting them ready for harvesting 7 hours later. After they had the doctor come in from fucking Vancouver with his Punjabi operating team. It's organized crime, people, and this is why the houses are being gutted from one house to another house to another house.
You wanted this? Deal with it. Deal with it.
I guess my number is almost called up here, eh? They got ShaMay, they got Sierra, they got Uncle John. Who are they going for next? Just rattle the house every fucking day with these big-ass fucking trucks and send in the fucking pound with their fucking dogs. Okay.
If y'all need money to, take him to the...
No, because your mother dropped the fucking ball a long time ago because she already showed her true colors, you stupid little bitch. She came into a big windfall after my daughter was murdered. She worked in the same fucking clinic where the hospital is saying she never went to. Right? She went to your house with the baby, right? 3 days later, she's dead. Okay.
The doctor?
Your mother got paid, and she sure in the hell wasn't going to share it or get caught.
for like whatever wheelchair shit, for sure, get Tisha to reach out. Not you. Get
only in your fucking dreams. This is why I'm doing this. This is to be documented that you're not fucking dependable. You're dangerous. You're a murderous bitch. That's what you are. Obviously, I get upset because I know what happened. Okay? I've had enough time to fucking figure it out. Right? There's only so many scenarios that you can go over in your head. There's only so many motives that would spark such a thing. Whether it's on a personal level because ShaMay had sex with Freddie a month before she was murdered, 2 weeks after she was asked to go to this individual's mother's house, and then 3 days after going to this individual's mother's house, ShaMay ends up dead with Julian molesting the body after he moved it, and then changed her shirt, and then stood back and watched everything happen. Just like this one stood back and watched for 2 fucking years with her boyfriend that she keeps putting up on fucking line, saying, ha ha, ha ha, you didn't know, but I'm gonna tell you now because I want to hurt your feelings. The thing that you got around your neck is really dog ashes. Well, I'm just waiting for the day when she purges how she laced ShaMay smokes in her mother's house, and then helped Julian to fucking get rid of the problem so that she could have Amari. As she continues after, since all this time, still running around since 2018, right? Going up to people and saying, look at this video of this crazy old white lady, blah, 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 where these people end up going to a bar not even a week and a half ago, see Tisha in the bar, and then go up to Tisha and say, do you know this woman, this crazy fucking Julian's sister, is still going on about your mom wanting me to watch videos? Like, this girl is fucking crazy. Okay? How many years? 2018, 19, 20, 21. That's 4 fucking years later, and I'm still talking about this shit. But she's confirming it to people. Okay? It takes a pretty deviant person to put dog ashes in a charm, give it to your so-called lover, and say it's your brother, and to hold it close to you, and then when the shit don't go your way 2 years later, turn around and drop the truth online yet. Not to mention the bobby pins, the hand cream, and the tampons being planted in Freddie's room to break up Freddie and ShaMay, so this one could get into bed with Freddie. Okay? So if something happens to me because of what the Punjabis are doing to the economy, in partnership with organized crime within our public union sector, right along with the fucking politicians, and Amari ends up in this person's lap, and you find out about it, fucking cause ruckus, because Amari will never be safe. They'll sell him off and he'll be harvested, because that's what he was slated for when they birthed him, people. He's like money in the bank for these criminals out here, okay? That's why the government forked over $1 million for a specialized operating team at the Children's Hospital just to remove organs from children like Amari so that the Punjabis can prosper. Their children can survive, but not children like mine or grandchildren like mine. Right? And they bring in the fucking dogs to make sure it happens. They tear out the fucking houses, destroy the economy to make sure that it happens. So they can be on that fucking mountain. Superior, lording over everybody. Okay? Right? Bottom fucking line. As they use little peons like this to do their dirty work just so that the bodies go into the pipeline. But once they're in the pipeline, it's a whole nother freaking league.
Get Tisha to reach out. That's my fucking nephew.
Tisha doesn't need to reach out. All she has to do is go to a bar and wait for somebody to approach her and say, oh my God, Tamika's harassing them. Because all Tamika wants to do is have them look at fucking videos of me and go on about how I'm an old evil white woman. when in fact they actually fucking like me and think that I can, you know, do things like, you know, I'm a community activist, go out, used to do park events, that kind of shit. That's the stuff that they remember. The stuff that the Punjabis don't want happen. They don't want that to fucking happen because they're too busy imploding all the fucking houses to destroy lives. That's what's going on out here, people. Okay? I'm testament to that, people. 9 appliances going in a bin. Oh yeah, okay. And the Punjabis are gonna throw that out to the fucking garbage dump. Hell no. They're gonna take it off, sneak somewhere, and they're gonna capitalize off of that and say, well, she didn't want it. You know, she lost it. It's ours now. One man's junk is another man's treasure. Right? We'll make a donation to the food bank with all our food and make ourselves look good. As if we give back to the community. Yeah, okay, you stole that fucking food because you imploded the house from the inside because you were too busy trying to fucking make sure you had gas in your Hummer. Well, sorry, you wanted another Hummer. Because you already got the gas in the Hummer. You just wanted another fucking Hummer.
Period, point blank. I know that Julian would do it for my kid. But aside from all of that, I have no more interest in that. I'm moved on. I'm living life. Doing a damn thing. So, you know what I'm saying? If you guys like this...
Okay, so there. I got it off my chest. Now we know. Now we know. It's getting closer and closer to the truth. She's trying to purge herself, but she can't. She can't admit that she laced ShaMay's smokes. Because that's too close to fucking home. That one would definitely get her in jail. But she could admit to fucking switching up ashes with human ashes and instead putting in dog ashes and then lying about it for 2 years with her so-called lover, the one that she loves so much so that she's got to get up on the fucking internet and cry on about how he hurt her so much. Right? We know what she did with Freddie and the tampons and bobby pins and the hand cream just so that she could sabotage ShaMay, right? We know that she stole ShaMay's phone, right? Tried to kidnap the baby, right? Just the whole 9 yards. We know that she's been stalking me, literally stalking me and my house for 4 fucking years, and she continues to stalk me and people around me that know me because, like I said, they just have to go to the bar. Tisha just has to go to the bar, sit there and mind her own business before somebody approaches her and says, you know that crazy bitch? She coming to me wanting me to watch videos of that crazy old white lady. Like, what is wrong with that girl? Your mother is nice. Why can't she just leave your mother alone? And Tisha's like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Okay? And with the real probability of losing my house completely, okay? Completely, people. I'm going to lose my grandson. All right? And if I lose my grandson, and if the government gives my grandson to these people, Julian's sister, Julian's mother, then they're basically handing him over to criminals. The reason Julian's mother dropped the ball is because she knew she was coming into big money because of that fake fucking car accident that she got into. Okay? And she didn't, one, want to share the money with Amari, didn't want any financial responsibility with Amari, right? And 2, she knew why she got the money, people. Because, remember, the hospital listed it down that ShaMay had no prenatal care. The clinic where Julian's mother worked at, where ShaMay was going. ShaMay's smokes were laced in Julian's mother's house. And they were laced by Tamika. Because she has that pattern. She just doesn't admit to that one because she knows she'd go to jail for murder. But she could admit to the dog ashes because it's a slap in her boyfriend's face. Ha ha ha. You didn't know for 2 years what I did. Ha ha ha. But I love you, baby. Just give me what I want and I'll be nice to you. kind of like the Punjabis. Give us what we want. If you can give us $4,500 a month for rent, we'll be nice to you. But if you can't give us what we fucking want, we're gonna fucking destroy you and your life and your family, and we're gonna harvest you after we fucking destroyed you. And that's just the way it works out here in British Columbia, Canada.